The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys!
This is Mick Shots.
Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
And it's a Tuesday at the Star in Frisco. Cowboys about to start a 3-game stretch against the AFC South. Cowboys about to go 11-3 on the season. And here inside the SWTC podcast studio, I'm Bill Jones along with Everson Walls and Mickey Spagnola.
What makes you say that?
I watched Monday Night Football last night.
All I got to say is wow.
Yeah, it was pretty boring.
I watched Monday Night Football, and I watched the Houston Texans the last few weeks, and I really like the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
I do too.
I still think that's a W. And so I've got the Cowboys at 11-3 3 weeks from now. How about you?
Indy threw in the first half for 36 yards. 36.
Yeah.
The Cowboys have 45 sacks right now. Mm-hmm. They will have 50 at least by.
Well, the Steelers only got 3 last night, and they got T.J. Watt, and they had none.
And all they talked about was his impact on the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I gotta say,
they will have 5.
If the game in Jacksonville is a trap game, you know that, right? Mm-hmm. That's a trap game. If we win that game, and if we win it in the right way, that's when I would have the ultimate confidence, the utmost confidence in this defense. Because there are certain games that you're away from home, you're out there in Florida,
Getting close to Christmas. You got Philly the next week.
That's setup. That's a setup. If you win that game, then you have matured as a team. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm looking for, maturation as a team.
And you need that when you play on Christmas Eve against the Eagles.
And all the way through the playoffs. Mm-hmm. That's when you show me that you are a team that has matured and understand that you take care of business first no matter what's going on around you.
I thought Matt Ryan was going to just get injured. I didn't want to say get killed,
right.
But Lord.
It's been like that all season.
Yes, it has.
And that's why they benched him?
Yeah, they benched him for that. Yeah.
Because they need somebody
because they could protect him, right?
Yeah, Sam Ehlinger.
They had how many they had a bunch of offensive linemen hurt, right?
Yeah, but most of them are back now.
They're back?
Yeah. I mean, they've got the rookie they're starting at left tackle, and Bernhard Raymond.
Cowboys should have taken him instead of Tyler Smith.
Well, that's the thing. And, he has improved. I will say this. He's improved since he made his first start back sometime in October, and that was the game. It must have been a primetime game because I watched it, and it was not pretty at all that day. So he has improved, and they've been able to move Braden Smith back out to right tackle.
Right.
And they've got their center back. And
who's supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, right. And they got Quentin Nelson, who, when he came into the league, he's all everything,
I know.
at left guard. So they've got a rookie at right guard, too, that were playing last night.
It was one jailbreak after another.
Mm-hmm.
And was that the same Jonathan Taylor running the ball?
That's Jonathan Taylor.
What happened? I mean, he was a stud.
Last year.
Last year. They did the Hard Knocks in season, which was extremely interesting. And Taylor was supposed to be the guy. Well, they wanted Wentz to be the guy to take them they need one of those last 2 games.
Right.
And they're going to be
Jacksonville, by the way.
We come full circle.
Yes, we have. And so I don't know if he got injured at the end of last season, but he didn't do well as far as his performance, and therefore Carson Wentz didn't do well either.
Yeah.
And they just tanked. I mean, they tanked. And that, to me, that was the beginning of the end for Frank Reich, right there. Putting all of his chips in the Wentz basket.
Right.
And it didn't work.
Didn't work out.
Mm-mm. So now You got another. He came to what? The Commanders, right?
Yeah.
Ready to go. Carson Wentz going to take over. He's the man. And
no longer is the man.
He was about to get the coach fired, this coach fired, if he's not careful.
And then they made the switch.
And here comes Heineken.
And they're drinking that up.
Don't drink it, though.
That's right.
And in fairness to Jonathan Taylor, he has been battling an ankle injury.
Okay, so that's
season.
what happened this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, but last season it didn't work out at all.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what we've got this week. And it's a prime time Sunday night game, the Cowboys and the Colts this week. And so the network executives, they all were thinking that Matt Ryan going to the Indianapolis Colts was going to be a great thing for that franchise too.
Right.
That's why they
got this
claimed that as a Sunday night game on NBC this week.
Boy, the Cowboys better pull their weight. Otherwise, no one watching that game.
Well, we beat Minnesota really bad, and they cut away to other games when everyone was watching
You
the
want
Cowboys.
your team that good.
Yeah.
You want your team that good where the rest of the nation is cutting away to other
As
games.
soon as
Pollard
Pollard hit the end zone, they see you later, guys. This is done. It's over.
As long as we can keep watching here in Dallas.
Yeah, locally they.
Although a lot of people listening to us right now they don't agree with that because if you're in some other area that they cut away from the Cowboy game.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. Who cares?
Nobody's cutting away Sunday night though.
No, that.
Yeah. All right. So what you got on your legal pad there, Mickey?
So listening to Mike McCarthy made me do a little research, and I don't know if last night's game changed it any, but he was talking about how they've got to do better with the penalties.
Oh gosh.
They had 13. How many times you commit 13 penalties and win the game, right? That's how good they were. And a lot of that was on offense, right? False starts, holding.
Even Zach got a holding call.
I think that referee needs to go back and look at that one too, by the way. But, I mean, they were overcoming 3rd and 15s, right? And so McCarthy said, this can't continue, right? So I went through and looked. Cowboys have the second most penalties in the NFL, as long as last night somebody didn't overtake them. They have 83 as a team.
And so behind who?
Denver has 87.
Okay.
Now look at Denver's record and look at the Cowboys' record. And that just shows you if they clean up some of that stuff, especially the false starts. And I don't know if, this is legitimate or not, but he was talking about, it's a short week. Maybe we should have dialed back the offense, not have as many motions and things like that complicate the offense. Because there was false starts was it the tight end or the wide receiver who was out in the slot and he turned and it's like, where are you going?
But to me, some of these plays, all plays, they come from a base, right? So, you can keep that base simple or you can expand that base. And to me, as long as you have that base you have to deal with, you should know what not to do and what shifts not to make and when not to go in motion and things of that nature. The short week, to me, I don't think that's a good excuse. We are in week 11, and I just don't think that should be an excuse. And I do understand that we do have some young guys on this team, but the penalties are not being committed by the young guys on this team. So to me, I think they just kind of, I don't know. I think they should be just smarter, because if you're coming from that base, that's one thing you need to figure out as a football player. If you expand it, it's okay. It's still coming from a particular situation, and for you not to know when to go in motion and when to be still. I mean, we're always watching it all the time when we're on TV. You can see, well, okay, when they came out, no one's still yet. Okay, once he goes in motion. All right, they can snap the ball while he's moving, but two guys can't be moving while he goes. I mean, these are all things that we all know of. And so for them to have these kind of issues when it comes to formation-wise, that to me is no excuse to have that formation-wise.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Especially, and the other thing is, especially when you're playing at home, it's not like you can't hear, right? Or you should be able to hear.
And you've got all the adjustments being made at the line for the most part.
Right.
You know, I'm glad they're giving Dak a little bit of that autonomy. But man, it just seems like you've always got one or two people that are not on the same page. That's just, and I guess that's what made me feel good about this game. With those penalties, I never felt like we were threatened.
Right.
That to me gives me a good feeling about this team overall. They seem to take those penalties, in phases. They seem to take it in very well. So,
and it seemed like they were getting holdings on first down, which gives you an opportunity to overcome it, right? It's the holdings on second and third down
we were able to
kill
overcome
a drive.
and we did not let them kill a drive for the most part. That's how we got in trouble in Green Bay.
Right.
The drives were killed because of penalties. So us being able to come back against a good team, I still think the Giants are a good team. That made me feel good.
You remember how many penalties the Cowboys had on Thanksgiving last year?
Against the Raiders?
It was 17?
18.
14 that were taken anyway,
but
that were accepted.
It was same, too. The Raiders had 14, too.
Yeah, they had 14 also. The Cowboys last year on Thanksgiving.
Raiders, Cowboys.
That was the
That's what you expect, though.
That was
the Raiders especially, but not the Cowboys are the new Raiders.
That was the Hockley crew, right?
14 penalties against the Cowboys for 166 yards in that game. Raiders was 14 for 110, and this one was 13 for 86, I think,
right.
Something like that. So twice as many penalty yards. Of course, 12 of those penalties were called on Anthony Brown in that Thanksgiving Day game last year.
12? Yeah, shut up.
Well, and so it's 86 yards.
That's a good one.
86 yards you get docked, but that doesn't account for what you had gained.
That's right.
And
I
they had
was
to
just
come
gonna
back,
say that.
right? And I think it was like another 40 yards.
They should have that as a stat also.
Right. Because here's where they marked the ball.
Yes.
And so I looked.
Easily
and
calculated.
And it was like 36 or 40 yards they lost on those.
Could you
imagine
imagine those numbers could be astronomical because sometimes you might take back a 50-yard bomb for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
so if you take 86 and add 36, that's 126 yards or 122.
That's just one
right?
penalty.
That's a lot of. And Bill Parcells talk, 100 yards means a touchdown, right? You gave up a touchdown.
You gave up
penalties.
a touchdown. And so all last year we were just like, okay, these refs are crazy. But damn, we sure are trending towards refs calling more and more penalties even this year. So what is happening here? Are we that undisciplined?
I was trying to look at a couple of them
I don't get an answer from that. He just ignored me.
Well, no, I mean...
He's looking through his legal pad for the answer.
It's pretty obvious, right?
He doesn't want to admit it, but yeah.
We are an undisciplined team.
They had a I'm trying to find it. I mean, they had the hold on Zach Martin. They had a first down on the play. Mm-hmm. They had to bring it back.
That's your long way of saying yes, we're undisciplined.
Uh-huh. No, that one he pancaked the guy. I still don't understand that. When you pancake the guy because he turns his back on you, then it looks like you're holding him. No, you're pancaking him.
But that's just one. I mean, we've got 13 more penalties, and it seems to be an annual thing now. I guess every Thanksgiving we're going to give up.
It's a Thanksgiving feast.
It's a tradition. The Cowboys are going to have double-digit penalties every Thanksgiving with their turkey.
Mm-hmm. All right. So what else did you get out of Mike McCarthy yesterday?
Oh, everybody made a big deal out of rest.
Who needs rest?
The Cowboys, like he backs off on his schedule.
Oh.
It's like, we're in December's schedule now. Mm-hmm. So you show up at the same time, you leave at the same time, but you don't practice as long. Cuts back to try to keep them fresh.
Fresh.
You had 5 days off in a row. Yesterday was just kind of a workout. It wasn't really a practice. And
None of their practices are really practice.
And then you get
That's my point. What do they rest? I'm with you. They don't need any rest.
I mean,
rest from what?
the key thing is
You know how you sleep too long and you can't stop sleeping? That's what they're doing right now. They're about to get into that mode.
they had 5 days right after Thanksgiving. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Today, we worked a little bit on Monday. We're going to have Tuesday off, and then we'll come back on Wednesday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 out of 5 days off.
Yeah, and what yesterday was just conditioning, basically, and knock off the rust from not doing anything for 3 days, right? I thought the biggest benefit they've had during this time is the guys that couldn't play or played through the illnesses, that maybe by Wednesday everybody's back ready to go. That flu bug they can kick out of here. Because originally they were going to go Zoom this on Monday. And then I think they saw it kind of simmered down.
So we're in good shape.
So I think they're much better. Jerry thought when he was talking this morning that everybody should be close to being back from the illness part. So the other thing is be interesting to see if they start James Washington tomorrow.
Start his clock,
Yeah.
his practice time.
21 days. And you wouldn't do it until Wednesday. So that's a possibility. And then maybe he needs a week or two before he can play.
Okay, so when we come back here on Mick Shots, you want to talk about the wide receiving position?
I would like to.
That's a good
Okay, and perhaps the addition of veteran wide receiver or plural on this team?
Just what they need, another sleepyhead.
When we come back on Mick
That's
Shots.
a good one, Spags.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh, she's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
What do you call a group of grown men and women with their faces painted silver and blue who get together every week to share a 3-hour-long ritual of jumping, singing, and toasting Miller Lite in 10-gallon hats while yelling, "How about them Cowboys?" You call it Miller Time in Dallas. Here's to the Cowboys. Here's to the original light beer. It's Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2021 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Mick Shots.
Cape Post Roofing and Waterproofing, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys. From corporate homes to your home, have your roof checked by choice, not by chance. Call now, 214-225-4860, and that would be capepostcompany.com.
All right, we continue here on Mick Shots on a Tuesday, and Mickey mentioned in the last segment about James Washington coming back from his injury that occurred way back in training camp, and he's getting closer and closer to being activated as far as his 21-day practice window to be back on the active roster. There's also the speculation about Odell Beckham Jr. out there, and reportedly he's supposed to visit the Star on Monday. He has a visit scheduled later this week with the Giants and the Bills, and he was in the news on Sunday at the Miami airport. And Mickey's now shaking his head for those of you who are not watching. And so... How's this wide receiving core looking for this Cowboys team?
Well, I think it's looking up, and I thought that every time Michael Gallup caught a pass or CeeDee Lamb caught a pass on Thanksgiving, the price of doing business with OBJ went down from the Cowboys standpoint.
Yes,
I don't think they're desperate to the point where they got to overpay or overcommit. I think, as Jerry kind of called it, it's an additive. Like it's something else we can add, but it's not like a total necessity like it was when you did the deal with Amari Cooper, making that trade for a first-round pick. So, yeah, I think it would be a nice toy to have. Providing he's ready to play, and that's something that they've got to research. Are you ready to go? And if not, when? Because if you're talking about a deep playoff run, say it's 2-3 games, okay, and you get 2 or 3 games during the regular season, that's 6, providing you win, right? So, but I just... If it's a long-term investment, I would have to shake my head on that one.
What are we looking at? What are we looking at right now in regards to our future? Meaning just this season, finishing out this season. What are we looking at in regards to moves being made by our wide receivers getting better, or who's coming off of an injury list? How are we looking right now? What specifically are we looking at?
Well, I think Lamb is starting to show you that he could be a number one receiver. I know you've been looking for consistency, and I think it's
coming.
It's coming, right?
Yep, it is.
What does he have? 2 100-yard games in the last 3?
And it's not just that; it's the no mental mistakes last week.
And then Michael Gallup looks like, I talked to him before maybe it was after the Minnesota game. And I said something to him about his confidence. I said, it looks like you're running your routes with more confidence. And he looked at me and he goes, you see that? He goes, yeah, I am. And so I think what you saw on Thanksgiving, him snatching those balls, I think he's a lot closer to being the guy that they extended, right?
I like how Dak throws it. I don't know how he likes it, but it seems as if Dak always likes to keep the ball only where he can get it.
Right.
Because when you're running those slants, it could be easy for a defensive back to pressure you and somehow get a hand in there. They're not taking those chances. Everything he's getting is right here, and he is the only person that can get the ball.
And and usually if it's to him, it's high, and he trusts him to go up and catch the ball. And then the third receiver, all right, Noah Brown, he'll make a catch here or there.
I think he'll make a catch if they put him in the plan.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He makes a catch as they use him, that's a veteran for you.
Right. And I don't know, I don't have the stats on his, like what he's done for the season, but he's been kind of reliable now. Maybe he doesn't get open all the time. I don't know. But
he is another big target.
And then if you're incorporating the tight ends the way they have, or you're throwing the ball to Pollard, you only got one ball. And obviously they like the 2 tight end and 3 tight end sets where you can throw out of it. It's not just loading up to run.
So let's say it's no Beckham, and then we do something with Washington.
Yeah, and then he fits in, as soon as he's ready to go. I mean, that knocks probably Tolbert out of the 5-man rotation.
Right.
And you're going to have to cut somebody to put Washington on the team, too,
That's right.
by the way.
Noah Brown has 28 catches for 384 yards, averaging 13.7 yards a reception and 1 touchdown, 45 targets.
Hand me that book.
Dalton Schultz, by the way, 33 catches, as a comparison. Dalton Schultz, 33 catches for 310 and 3 touchdowns with 46 targets.
But he hasn't played all that many games.
That's right. He had one fewer game than Noah Brown. Noah Brown's 10 games, 10 starts. Dalton is 9 games, 9 starts.
So, in
contrast, CeeDee Lamb, 64 catches, 857 yards, 5 touchdowns on 104 targets in 11 games.
So, your third receiver, they're not going to have that many catches usually, right? They had an embarrassment of riches when it was, Cooper, Gallup, and Lamb, right? Everybody's going to have 1,000 yards. Well, it didn't quite work out that way. But I always remember the 95 season. And I know this is a long ways from there. And you had Michael Irvin, a Hall of Fame guy, with 111 catches that year. The second receiver, not in catches, was Kevin Williams with 38.
K-Dub.
Okay? Now, you had Novacek. You threw the ball to Darrell Johnston. He had 30 catches.
Darrell Johnson had 30 catches. Mm-hmm. Jeez. He's throwing to everybody.
Emmett had 62. All right? Now, the third receiver, anybody remember the third receiver?
Alvin Harper?
No, he was gone.
He was gone?
Corey Fleming, 6 catches for 83 yards. They won a Super Bowl. So the third receiver, that's gravy, whatever you get out of that guy, right?
He got a ring.
Yes, he did.
he got 6 catches on the season.
Say you get Odell in and he splits time with Washington as the third receiver. That's probably a pretty good threat because
fourth receiver
or fourth, however you look at it, and no matter what his performance is, they're going to say, "Oh, that's Odell Beckham Jr. We better put somebody on him, right? We better kind of guard him." So, yeah, I think it's a great threat.
How about a 4-receiver
lineup
set where you've got, let's say you got Pollard in the backfield, and you've got CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, James Washington,
and Noah.
Or Odell Beckham Jr.
Odell Beckham. Or how about this? If you have 5 receivers set, you've got CeeDee.
No running backs.
No running back. CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, James Washington, Odell Beckham Jr., and Kevontae Turpin on the field at the same time.
Which, by the way, they had him in more 3-receiver sets in that game. Not a lot.
Won't throw it to him.
No, I know, but they put him in motion. You got to cover him, right? You never know. Yeah, that would be pretty sweet, huh? And then somebody will complain, why aren't they running the football?
CD can line up at running back.
I was going to say.
Well, and they've done it, right? Didn't they snap him the ball?
No, he had.
Or you got
nice
Pollard at running back, and
yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, what about this though? I'm just looking in terms of Odell. Okay. Obviously, if he is Odell Beckham that he's been in the past, and we have no idea.
Let's just say the Rams Beckham.
Yeah, from last year.
Yeah.
Okay. The Rams Beckham last year.
From the playoffs, too.
Okay.
Because regular season, it was okay.
Right.
Yeah, they were all okay until they they hit a stride. Go ahead.
Right. Okay. So we know what he would provide as a third receiver. Okay. What about as insurance if you lost CD or Michael Gallup to injury?
Then
too, and how much do you factor that into your decision too? That it covers you. It covers you in case you lose one of those guys.
Because I don't know that if you don't have Lamb,
like what do you have if you don't if Lamb went down with an injury?
Yeah. Then you're pretty thin, right? then you're using those 3 tight ends probably, or at least 2 tight ends. So
that's another thing to think about.
And one of the things you got to think about too, with wide receivers, is you have to threaten teams down the field. You can't throw all this little cute stuff underneath. At some point, you got to threaten them to back them off. Because did you see how the Steelers were playing? Man, they had 11 guys within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage.
That's how they played us a lot last year. Those games that gave us problems, the 49ers as well. They did not play the deep pass. And we were fussing, I know I was, all year, last year, we need to go deep. And at this point, we still haven't. And we've been blessed because the running game is balling.
Right.
And that's given Dak a lot of opportunities to go with the play action, and he's looking deep down the field, but he's throwing intermediate passes. Keep getting him out of the pocket. Where there's a lot of room out there, making us feel more comfortable. We've been able to do that because of the running game. But let's just say that running game gets shut down. We're going to have to answer with deep passes. I say we go ahead and keep trying them now. Don't wait till the playoffs. Okay, guys, we're going to have to start going deep now. That's something you should be practicing throughout and show that threat.
See, and if you think about it, that's what happened in that 2007 playoff loss to the Giants when Terrell Owens was hurt, right? He had the high ankle sprain. They had no threat down the field. And so the Giants were like, yeah, you can do all the running because your running back's not going to run to the end zone, Marion Barber. He had 100 yards rushing the first half, and all they had was like 14 points. And they couldn't threaten them down the field, so all of a sudden the defense is compacting, right? And
we wouldn't take the chance.
And they'll let you have all that under stuff because they're betting that you can't go 80 yards in 14 plays. At some point, you're going to run out of downs. And that's why even if you throw incomplete, you got to stretch the field, right?
Even if it's incomplete.
Just
I like that.
Make them think, well, yeah, but what if they catch one, right? Where's my safety? Well, we had him in the box because they're throwing all that underneath stuff. So. Yeah,
and when we're talking deep, we're not talking just like 30-yard passes.
Yeah.
We're talking about going downtown.
Right.
And we can do that. We have the players to do that. Alvin Harper wasn't a speedster, but I remember him catching deep passes. Michael Irvin wasn't a speedster. I see him catch many of deep passes. So it's just a matter of being able to track the ball. And I know that's what our wide receivers can do. So we need to do it before it's too late.
Because I think what's happening, and I think we saw it a little bit in this last game, teams are going to start blitzing, right? And the way to control Dak is to blitz.
You have to.
Right? So your offensive line's got to continue to play as well as they've been here of late. I don't think they gave up a sack in that game Thursday, right?
Right, no.
No sacks.
No
right?
sacks.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So
2 straight games, no sacks.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what teams will start doing. They'll start blitzing and then say, okay, how do we cover all these guys? Well, you make sure the quarterback doesn't have the time of day in the pocket. Ask Matt Ryan about that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when we come back here on Mix Shots, I'd like to look ahead to the postseason. Is that okay?
He is itching, isn't he?
Goodness, great. He must have something on
He
us.
started off today.
And we might mention
we're already what are we? 11-3. We're already 11-3.
Yeah, he's got him 11-3, right?
11-3 going into the Eagle game. Okay,
not so fast, Bill. And we got a few Pro Bowl votes out there too.
Oh, okay. Let's do that when we come back here on Mix Shots.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh. She's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
The season is finally here. For months, we've been gearing up to win. Now it's time for the team that performs on any field, United Ag and Turf. With John Deere zero turns for mowing, compact tractors for loading, mini excavators for digging, Gator utility vehicles for hauling, implements for grading, hay tools for baling. United Ag and Turf, for winning. The official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com for more.
Back to Mick Shots.
Live music fans, head to the Star in Frisco on Tuesday, November 29th. That's today.
Yes.
For a brand new monthly concert series, Sounds of the Star, featuring the inimitable country rock band Western Rewind. The concert kicks off at 7 p.m. and is free and open to the public. For more info, visit
thestarinfrisco.com.
There we go.
You talk about reading slow. Dude.
I was slowing down.
God. I was reading in a wheelchair. Come on, man.
I was slowing down so you could keep up with me.
It's like y'all were wobbling in a wheelchair. So that's tonight.
Tonight, Western Rewind.
This is out here at Tostitos Championship Plaza?
7 p.m.
All right.
It'll be okay. The weather's going to be nice.
It'll be
very nice. And then it gets cold.
Early in the morning.
Cold.
And then it's
That's
going to
right.
be cold.
Supposed to get up to 77 today or something like that.
In the 70s.
And tomorrow it'll get up to 43.
And I think when I saw the warm weather, I prematurely signed up to play tennis on Wednesday night.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
There you go.
I need to go find my gloves.
This is an outdoor court?
It's an outdoor court. We're tough.
I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the word? I was going to say, is that the word we want to use?
Okay, the playoffs are fast approaching, and for the Minnesota Vikings, a division title could be fast approaching for them this week, in fact. The NFL has issued its Week 13 playoff scenarios, how teams can clinch a playoff spot this week. And the Minnesota Vikings, who play the Jets on Sunday at noon, if they win that game, they clinch the NFC North with a win themselves plus a Detroit loss or tie.
In Minnesota?
Let me check.
The
Jets and Vikings are in Minnesota. And the Lions, what are the Lions?
Jacksonville.
Yep, they're playing at home against Jacksonville. So your Jacksonville Jags would have to win at Detroit for that scenario to play out. The Eagles can clinch a playoff spot with a win, a Washington loss to the Giants, a San Francisco loss or tie against Miami.
Wait. They would clinch a what?
A playoff spot.
Oh, playoff. Okay.
A playoff spot.
I thought he was saying division.
No.
Like, playoff spot.
Philadelphia can clinch a playoff berth with a win and a Washington loss to the Giants. And Philadelphia's playing Tennessee. Washington lost to the Giants.
That's going to be a tough
San Francisco loss or tie to the Dolphins.
That's going to be a good game.
And a Seattle loss or tie against the Rams. So they are not clinching this week because Seattle is playing the Rams, and the Rams are not capable of winning a game, right? We're in agreement on that?
What do they have? Why not have a backup quarterback? What happened to the backup quarterback?
They had Wolford.
Behind Stafford.
Stafford, and I guess he got hurt.
And now
then
you don't
Perkins
have a third
Bryce
quarterback?
Bryce
you don't have
Perkins?
a third quarterback?
Yes.
Perkins.
Perkins is the quarterback.
But okay,
Don Perkins.
That's what they're going to go with.
Don Perkins' relative.
Wide receiver / quarterback.
I think it's his brother's son.
Well, it's not.
I said he looks like a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying okay.
No, he looks like a wide receiver.
And he runs like one.
He's
6'3", 215 pounds, out of
South Carolina, I think.
Virginia. He started his college career at Arizona State, then went to Arizona Western, and then Virginia. He's from Phoenix, Chandler, Arizona. And you say he's related to Don Perkins?
They said it on the broadcast.
Okay. His father, Bruce Perkins, played fullback at Arizona State, briefly in the NFL. His uncle, Don Perkins, played 8 seasons, of course, with the Cowboys in the Ring of Honor. The late, great Don Perkins. There you go. All right.
Who, by the way, I heard that they're going to name a street for him near the university in Albuquerque.
All right.
Oh,
Mexico.
Nice. Man.
He's already on the
about time.
He's already on the big stadium wall and to the outside. There's 4 guys out there, and he's one. I mean, it's like bigger than life picture.
Was the White House on Perkins Avenue?
It was not.
No,
it was not.
I was going to say
it was on White.
It was on Constitution Way.
No, Perkins. Producer Supreme said on White. It was on White Avenue, White Street.
It was
in Irving. Valley Ranch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not in Washington, D.C.
No.
That's Pennsylvania Avenue.
I said Constitution. It's Pennsylvania. I couldn't think of it.
That's why they called it the White House.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go.
You didn't know?
No.
Okay.
I can take you there.
I bet you can.
How do you know how to get there?
Right. Would you have a key or what's going on?
Surveillance.
Garage door opener?
Surveillance.
Back in the reporting days, some of the best stories came out of the White House, right?
Yeah. Him and Gary Myers.
It was also called Open Locker Room.
Jerry Orr was up in a tree.
Right.
In the bushes.
Okay.
Oh, man.
In the bushes.
All right. I wanted to talk playoff scenarios.
Okay. What else you got? What are the Cowboys got any?
All right. Where do the Cowboys rank in the NFC right now?
They are the 4th best.
In your opinion. Just in your opinion. Where you look around the NFC.
Since they beat Minnesota.
You look around the NFC,
they have
and as
2nd best record.
If you were to rank the NFC teams,
3rd best record, Mick.
3rd?
Yes, Philly,
Eagles,
Minnesota.
Us. Yeah, 3rd. Okay.
2nd best team, though, to me. 2nd best.
2nd best to?
Well,
to Philadelphia.
I'll tell you what.
And I just mean that simply because, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because they only have the one loss.
Let's not.
But otherwise, I do not think that Minnesota obviously is better than us. So I'm going to say we're number 3 record.
About San Francisco.
San Francisco's coming on.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Trust me, I can smell their breath. But I still think we are the better team and the tougher team.
The national school of thought, I would say, has Eagles, Niners, Cowboys.
Yes.
In that order.
Only because they beat us last year.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
It's kind of funny. So if you look at points for and points against, San Francisco 236 for and 173 against, and they're supposed to have a really good defense, right? The Cowboys 279 for and 187 against. So they, giving up more points than San Francisco, but not that
14.
Much more. Yeah. So
I think both of our defenses are extremely similar.
Yeah.
I love both of them the same mindset, the same personnel, same type of personnel in every unit. Their front line is amazing. The linebackers, especially Werner, he's amazing. They have a safety in the back. I can't remember the young man's name. I think he's of Samoan descent. What's number 29's name? The safety for San Francisco. He's a heck of a player, and he's the one that's making all the plays in the secondary for them.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
And so they have a defense that's very similar to ours, not just in the personnel, but in their mindset and how they attack the opposing offenses. And he is
Talonga Hufanga.
He's our J. Ron Curse, right? I mean, and Donovan Wilson for that matter. You know, we can match up with those guys. And once again, we're tougher than we were last year. We can make the plays this year, and we can prevent plays this year without being manhandled by somebody like a Debo or an Ayuk as big wide receivers. And number 15, I believe. This kid is a stud. Huge wide receiver.
Ayuk?
No, Ayuk is number 11. Number 15 is the guy who caught the touchdown last week, and he is a heck of a player. They've been coming at him a lot.
Juwan
lately.
Jennings.
Yeah.
So they have good receivers like we have good receivers. I think our quarterback is better than theirs. I think our running backs are better than theirs, but they still, offensively, they have a good output in the running game. So we are evenly matched. But I believe what puts us over the top would be Dak over Jimmy G.
All right, let me throw this at you, which producer Supreme put me on the scent of. The last 4 games, the 49ers have not given up a point in the second half.
I knew that. And they're playing crappy teams.
That's against the Rams, the Chargers, the Cardinals, and the Saints.
Yeah, I'm not impressed by any of those teams.
Minnesota, by the way, if you want to look at things like that, had outscored their opponents in the second half. No, fourth quarter going into the Cowboys game.
Alone.
83-40.
Yes.
So
I'm not much on stats. Yeah, let's
you see.
Let's play. Let's play.
Let me see.
Every game is going to be different, especially when you have 2 teams that are so much alike. It just changes everything. All the variables change. So the next time, if we're blessed enough to meet the 49ers, I think it's going to be a heck of a game.
And make sure you bring your boom box with you.
That's right. We'll have our own. And they'll be booming on the field.
And make sure you know who Debo is. Okay.
Well, the advantage the Cowboys have right now over the Niners is they have a better record than the Niners. So that's why they need to get to 11-3 the next 3 weeks, right?
and if you have to play them, at least you get it at home.
Get it at home. That's right. Because that worked out so well last year.
Yeah, right.
I'm just saying, guys, this team will travel. This team will travel. They will meet you at your front door. That's what I like about this team. It's different. Not just the defense. That offensive line is stronger. They're better. A little dumber, but as far as plays are concerned.
And Tyron Smith is on the way.
Oh, there's another one on the way back.
Yeah.
And I'm it's tough coming off an injury for that long. Let's say Tyron goes down again, God forbid. We're still in good shape, going back to the way we were. The way we are now, I would travel with that team to anyone's stadium and feel good about it.
So we're out of time here. Are you going to sit here in the studio and watch the World Cup here?
It starts in 13 minutes, right?
United States and
Boy,
1 o'clock.
This thing
Iran.
all morning.
It's a must-win game, right?
Did you pronounce it right so you don't get called out?
Oh, who got called out?
Iran or Iran?
Which one is it?
I called it Iran.
It's Iran.
Iran.
Why?
Who got called out? Somebody on the U.S. team didn't say it
The
right.
captain.
Oh.
The captain?
And their reporters called them out on it.
Oh.
You don't even know how to pronounce our country's name.
Oh, wow.
Oh, just apologize and pronounce it correctly.
That's what he did.
That's what he did.
That's just okay. We move on. Sorry, guys. Forgive me.
So are you watching it?
It'll be on in the hallway up there, I think.
Okay.
That's a no.
I'll peek in. I mean, the reason people watch is because if you miss any of it, that might be the only goal of the damn game. I'm just saying.
Hey, not a soccer fan.
And so a draw is not good enough.
No, they got to win.
Got to score a goal today.
Got to score.
We have scores. Now, is Iran, are they a good team?
They beat Wales.
Right? Yeah.
And we
tied them.
Wales. Yeah.
And we tied England.
And we tied England too?
Yes.
Now, that was a good tie.
Okay.
From what I see.
Because England's a good team?
Yeah. They're supposed to be really good.
Yeah.
No, we got this.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So there you got it. We got our predictions in. You got a pick to click?
No. I do not. America, USA. That's all I can say.
Pulisic, is that his name?
You get your pick to click.
He's my pick to click.
Only because that's the only one.
Ferreira, he's from here. There's 3 from here.
McKinney.
Weston McKinney.
Yeah.
Is another one.
He's from
here.
the Colony or something.
Or Little
like
Elm.
That.
Something
Nice.
like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
See?
What's his name?
Weston McKinney.
All right. Looking out for that.
Jesus Ferreira
They
plays
got
for
brothers on
FC
the
Dallas.
team? They got black guys on the team?
Yeah.
What's his name?
I think the
Pele?
captain.
We got a lot.
The captain.
Oh, it's a lot of them. He said.
captain.
He said it's a lot of them. Oh, it's a lot of them. Cool. Never mind.
Abram or Adams.
We're way past time. Way past time.
Way out of the subject.
We're way out of our
subject.
league on this subject.
And Nate Newton and the gang will be able to give you updates on the World Cup. Nate in Frisco will give you updates on the World Cup as they do their show starting at 1 o'clock. And we'll chat at you again tomorrow here on Mix Shots.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!